I'ma keep it a bean. Stick to the script, every scene. This from last year, but they clean. Say to say, I'ma take something else, but it's a winning team. Charlie Sheen, fam gang, the regime. I'm from Piney Green.
What's good, Shellitronnn here, the most woke, no joking. I'm back to give a brand new video. And I'm gonna keep it a Bowberry biscuit. A lot of things have changed. Now, not permanently, but right now, first off, I'm in Charlotte. I'm kicking it with my sister for a week. So if a few things look a little bit different, like where I'm at, the mic might not be as good because I didn't bring all my mic stuff. I don't have the camera right here. Look, just work with me for the next week. I'm probably going to Georgia next week, so if I do videos, it's gonna be hard to do videos in Georgia. I'm visiting my actual extended family. The videos, but mainly the audio, will be a little bit rougher. The background won't be as as it usually is. Last night I meant to do a video talking about day 4 of training camp, but I was on the road all last night. I almost got hit twice passing the Raleigh exits. I'm gonna show you this right now before I get to the actual day 5 of training camp. People in Raleigh can't drive. My experience driving through Raleigh, driving past Raleigh, anything to do with Raleigh and cars, people cannot drive. Except for you. If you live in Raleigh and you watch my videos, you're probably good, but your neighbors and the random folk you see at Walmart or Target or wherever you go, look, they cannot drive. We need to have a conversation. But look, we're off that, we're past that. I was going to do a video on day 4, but it was going to be so late, and I was actually going to be going to training camp today, this morning, but a few things got in the way, and I was like kind of late to the point where I would have shown up in Spartanburg at like 10:30. I'm on CPT all the time. Look, let's not talk about it. So I decided I'm just going to scratch that. I wasn't going to go there with only like 1 hour left, like 45 minutes left, and do all that. It just wasn't really worth it. So I'm going to training camp tomorrow, and I'll be there. I'll do a live stream there, and I'll have a video when I get back. But enough about what happened in the past. Let's talk about what happened, well, a little bit more in the recent past. Earlier today, during day 5 of the Carolina Panthers 2019 training camp, we saw a lot of really good things. First of all, we saw the return of Kyle Love, and this is a really good thing here because even though Kyle Love is not a starter defensive tackle, he is still a very, very big part of our defense. We need to have guys who can come in, who can spell for some of the guys on our team, especially going to a 3-4 look. And I think for the front 7 at least, we'll be seeing guys come in and out. We'll be like mixing, matching guys and working out things situationally. So we'll be seeing a lot more guys, maybe guys getting less snaps than they usually do, but we'll be looking at each of the players' strengths and putting them in where they really fit in. And I do think that Kyle Love is going to have a big role on the team this upcoming season, even if he doesn't start, even if he has, less snaps than some of these other bigger name guys. Look, we understand what the situation is, but these guys, all of our backups on defense at least, all of our second string guys are going to be huge, important factors. And that's going to be the biggest thing for this video right here, is talking about some of these backups. Now, we all know, look, we can all focus on the starters and whatnot during these training camp sessions, but I think we all have a pretty general idea of how guys are going to be. I mean, we know Cam's going to have a good year if he's healthy. Greg Olsen will have a good year if he's healthy. There's not all that much they can really show us in training camp. I mean, Cam can throw 100 throws in training camp, but it's going to take us seeing him do that in the actual games before we're actually, 100% sure guys going 100% trying to tackle this man. So we understand what the situation is there. But when it comes to these backup guys, we really need to see any reps we can and looking at where these guys fit in. And I think today was a really good step in finding out what these guys can do. I really want to start with the D-line and go to the O-line, that kind of stuff, because the guy I really want to get to in the secondary is not even just the one guy. There's actually, you know what, forget all that. Let's start the secondary because I really want to get to this real quick. We were all talking about Rashawn Gordon, not just us, but the front office, Marty Herney, coaching staff, every single writer was talking about Rashawn Gordon being the guy at free safety. Even if he wasn't going to be the free safety guy, then we might see him at nickel. We saw Cole Luke getting a lot of good snaps at the nickel. We did see Corn Elder get some snaps playing outside, but we did see Ross Cockrell. This is the big surprise of the day for me. Of all the news, of all the stories I saw, of all, even the videos, even of Aldrick Robinson doing some really good things today. I'll get to that later on. But we saw Ross Cockrell, a guy who's played boundary corner his whole career, got injured last year, broke his leg in a very, look, that's a bad injury. But a guy who's played corner get the bulk of the snaps at free safety. And Coach Ron Rivera said, he had a quote later on in practice, he said that the reason why Ross Cockrell got most of the plays at free safety was because of his ability to make plays on the ball, and that's been missing at that position since Kurt Coleman's 7-interception season in 2015. Look, that is extremely important. Coach Rivera, look, Ron's saying, look, we know what we said about these guys, but we're not going to be so bogged down by the publicity of it, by us taking back our word, or sound like we were wrong, or maybe even in a perceived way, maybe getting ahead of ourselves earlier on in the offseason. When, look, if we have a guy right here who's playing really well at a position, no one's spot on the team is guaranteed right now. So Rashawn Golden has to earn it. Whoever's playing nickel, if it's going to be Corn Elder, if it's going to be, anyone, if it's going to be Rashawn Golden playing at the nickel, those are pretty much up for grabs. I am very surprised to hear that Ross Cockrell is looking really, really good at free safety. And you know what? He always was he was a good corner. And you do see sometimes guys who play corner, when they start to lose a step or whatever, they can go over and transition to being a safety and they still play well. Ross Cockrell will probably not start as a boundary corner with, James Badbury and DJ on the other side, but as a free safety, he could make that move. And sticking with the same theme of guys' jobs not being 100% secure and nothing's guaranteed, let's look at Greg Little, the rookie that we did move up 10 spots to draft in the second round. Although Coach Rivera did say the day he was drafted that we're not going to guarantee it's his spot just yet, he has to fight for it. Darrell Williams has been looking really good, and apparently according to the Riot Report, they're saying that it's actually Darrell Williams' job to lose at left tackle. And honestly, that actually is a lot better of a situation. I'm cool with Greg Little having to, either fight for that position or getting 1 year to learn and watch how Darrell Williams does it. I don't think the team brings back Darrell Williams, especially at left tackle, especially at what he's going to be asking for next year. He's going to be looking for, if he plays good this year, he's going to be looking at really good money, especially if he's a right tackle who was already an all-pro there and proves he can be really good at left tackle. If he can prove that he can stay healthy and play both tackle spots, especially left tackle on the blind side, he'll be able to really command a lot of money, and I'll have no problem with Darrell Williams looking for a bag this offseason if he can prove it for himself. I don't think the team can do it for him this upcoming off. We have a lot of contracts coming up this year. We really don't have a lot of money, but I really do think that if Darrell Williams can prove this year, he'll be making a lot more money in the next 3-4 years. So that's cool with me. And then we'll have Greg Little coming up next year, and he'll have learned, he'll have gotten better in run protection and run blocking, and then obviously he'll get better even more so in pass blocking. So we'll look good on the whole line. I'm 100% straight with that. And if Greg Van Roten keeps his job right there at left guard, then that's cool as well. Speaking of linemen, guys like even Jason Vanderlaan, who is a tight end, but for a while I kept thinking of him as a tackle. Didn't he play? I feel like Jason Vanderlaan, he took some snaps at center last preseason and last training camp, right? I think he took some snaps at center last year, really, really early on. Apparently he had a really good catch today in practice. You don't really hear much about Jason Vanderlaan in receiving roles because I've only really heard about him in his passing capabilities, although we do know he's a tight end, but he's more like a special teamer kind of guy, an extra lineman who can play just about anywhere, honestly. But seeing him be good in the receiving game as well, or at least be a semi-threat, you know how Chris Manhertz, you don't really see him receiving all that much, but if it really, really needs to happen, he can do it. We proved that in the terrible, terrible, terrible first game against the Saints this past season. Christian McCaffrey to Chris Martinez. We know what that's like. So keep an eye out for that. We might see Jason Vanderlaan do maybe a little bit of something. You never know. We have a lot of guys who are further down the depth chart, like 6th, 7th, 8th guy in the receiving core, who could make the team and are guys who are extremely talented. And speaking of, Chris Hogan did not practice today, and apparently he actually left practice early yesterday. So we'll look at that. I mean, he's not like super old, but we got to keep an eye out for that. There are a lot of guys fighting for that last either 5th or 6th spot in the receiving core. And don't assume any of those guys who are lower than Jarius Wright. Let's say, you know, DJ Moore, Curtis Samuel, Jarius Wright, Torrey Smith, who was the first guy out in the field today. I mean, I think after Torrey Smith, you might call Torrey Smith and Chris Hogan on the same kind of plane as likelihood of them making the team. But around there and just after that, all those guys on the squad could easily be tied for just how likely they are to make the team. And there are like 3 other guys who are about at, I think, the same kind of likelihood depending on how they look in training camp and in the preseason. Moving on though, Will Greer had another easy money session today, getting some really good throws in. He worked with the 2s today, so it's looking like Will Greer is looking at having the most. I mean, what we've seen is Will Greer got the 2s, and when Cam was out, didn't Will Greer get to play with the 1s, and it was Kyle Allen with the 2s? So it seems like Taylor Heinicke is not getting all that many reps with the 1s and 2s. It really does seem like, although, I mean, from what we're reading from the reporters, I'm not actually at practice, so I don't really know what we're actually seeing. Didn't we hear from Coach saying that these quarterbacks will be getting the same number of reps with all the groups? Like, we'd be seeing everyone play with the 1s, everyone play with the 2s. You know, they'd be getting a pretty even amount of reps with those squads, and we'll see who wins that battle there. I've been noticing that it's really been Kyle Allen and Will Greer getting those opportunities when Cam's not there, or when they switch off and get snaps with the 1s and then the other guy steps up. I haven't really heard all that much chatter about Taylor Heinicke getting to play with even the 2s, let alone the 1s. So we'll have to look at that. I'm not sure if that was just like fan service, lip service kind of thing. That sounds good, but really won't happen in practice. And that's really about it. I think we saw a really, really big chunk of some progress, some real solidified progress, especially in the secondary. Coach is saying, look, we got to see what all our options are. Can Cole Luke do something? Cole Luke's a pretty good guy. Can Ross Cockrell make that jump to free safety? What will we see from Rashawn Golden moving forward? We're still only in the first full week of training camp, but a lot of different situations, a lot of different stories are starting to form and starting to begin to maybe solidify a little bit, to the point where you might be seeing some maybe unexpected faces and some unexpected guys make some moves on this team. This is probably the most exciting it's been for a training camp in a minute now, because we have some guys who are not, they're not household names. They're guys who just made the team, or guys who were injured last year who we haven't really seen play too many snaps, starting to step up, and these guys could be high impact players for the Panthers in 2019. Keep your eyes peeled for that, especially Cole Luke, especially Ross Cockrell. We'll look at how Will Greer plays. We'll see how the quarterback battle goes. I really want to see the running back battle, receivers, all that, bro. These guys can't afford to be out too long. Torrey Smith missed 2 days. This is going to be Chris Hogan's 1.5 days. So these guys at the lower end of their position groups, they really cannot afford to be hurt during training camp or preseason, because they're fighting for jobs. They may have been picked up early, may have really good resumes, but some of these guys really are fighting for jobs because there are talented guys a lot further down in the depth chart than you would really expect at this point, but there might be some surprises coming up. That's all I got for you today, man. What are your thoughts? What was the most surprising thing to you? What was the least surprising thing to you? What are you looking forward to the most in training camp? What kind of video should I make next other than these training camp videos? Let me know all your thoughts in the comments below. Hit that subscribe button, hit that bell icon, and you already know what to do with that like button.
Cheers to you, appreciate the chance. Been told y'all I been the man. Been told y'all I had the gift. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Real ones gonna recommend. Count this as another win.